No, we can't actually possibly discuss what we were just saying on account of Jesse and I both having to apologise to Jesse's sponsor. So we better move
Yeah.
forward to the recording.
Or maybe we should have an explicit content. But anyway, we're at Kendal Mountain Festival. We're talking episode 80. Yeah, amazing. Hi, I'm joined as always by Cathy. Hello.
I mean, oh my gosh, what a busy show. And actually, I'm just going to explain for the benefit of the listeners who've just come into a bundle of laughter that we have been talking about microphones and the little fluffy bits that you get on microphones, and Jess's description of
What they
one.
look like, yeah.
We are talking with Guinness World Record holder Jesse Dufton, and joined as well by his wife and partner Molly Dufton. Welcome both of you to the podcast.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Yeah, cheers.
So, I mean, I'm just going to do a very brief introduction, because first of all, I'm going to say if anybody hasn't seen Jesse's films, Climbing Blind #1 and #2, go and watch them. Sign up to BritWalk or get onto the Festival iPlayer when that's available, and watch the films, because they are really, well, fascinating. Actually, for me, I really found them absolutely fascinating. Jesse, you are the first person to climb the Old Man of Hoy, or rather the first blind person to climb the Old Man of Hoy. Can you just tell us how you lost your sight and how much, if anything, you can see?
Sure. So I lost my sight because of a genetic condition. So when I was born, I could see not very much at all. I was severely partially sighted. And then in my early 20s, that little bit of sight I had slowly faded away. So now I usually say I have no useful sight left. So it's not just a uniform black, but on the old televisions when they weren't tuned to a channel, it's just like a fuzz in front of your eyes wherever you look. So you can tell when someone turns the lights out, but you can't tell anything else.
No. So what's in front of you, literally, even if you're up close to the rock?
Yeah, for the viewer's benefit, like I'm holding my hand and it's less than a foot in front of my face and I can't see my hand.
Oh, yeah. So taking that into account, you've been climbing since you were a boy, and you started climbing with your dad. Now you climb with your wife Molly, who describes the rock and the route, etc., for you, which in itself is an incredible skill. But how do you communicate at the crag if there's a high wind or if you're out of sight, for example?
Yeah, so we usually use like a two-way radio system. So they're always on. You don't need to press a button, and you can just talk to your partner as if you're right there. And the big advantage of that is that Molly doesn't need to shout, because she needs to say quite a lot to me. And before we had them, she'd wind up shouting a lot and losing her voice. They are awesome. Obviously, they aren't totally bulletproof. Like if you lose visual line of sight, soon you'll also lose the radio comms. But generally, they've been absolutely awesome, and they light enough that they just clip onto the back of my helmet, so you kind of forget you're wearing it, really.
Oh, right, yeah, that's streets ahead of the old kind of walkie-talkies I used to use back in the day with
it's
my
not like
husband
a
climbing in
brick.
Yosemite. Yeah. Oh no, it was.
Yeah, exactly.
And if you go climbing somewhere with loads of background noise, it's really good because you can actually hear your partner. So if you're climbing on sea cliffs and there's crashing waves, or if you climb somewhere like Avon where there's like the road noise at the bottom, you can actually still hear your partner. Yeah, it's really useful.
Yeah. I didn't even think of road noise, and wow. So I mean, you don't just top rope, Jesse, either. You lead climb to sort of E3 plus. Do you have like a really strict racking order for your gear when you're climbing? And can you describe just how you get the right placement as well?
So the order, well, it starts off quite neat, but I guess as most climbers will attest, once you've picked a piece of gear, tried to place it, realized it's not the right side, started to panic a bit, and then clipped it back on your harness, you didn't necessarily put it back in the right place. So it starts off nice and neat, but it doesn't always end up that way. So I usually have like my nuts at the front and then the cams, smallest at the front, going to largest at the back. And it does move around a bit because you don't take the same rack on every route. But that's the general kind of system. And then for placing the gear, when I find a crack, I'll kind of explore that crack with my hand and build up like a 3D picture of it in my mind. And you'll be able to tell whether or not it's parallel sided and therefore takes a cam, or if it tapers and therefore you can get a nut in it. And you got some kind of rules of thumb for what size it's going to be. So if you can get like a nice thumb down jam, then that's going to be like a gold DMM size 4. If you can get your fingers slotted in and you can kind of, it's just a little bit wider than your fingertips, so you can feel that on the back of your hands, that's like a dragonfly size 6. And if you can get a fist jam, that's a dragon size 5, like one of the blue ones. So you've kind of got those easy sizes that are, like your way markers. For the wires, it's a lot harder. You kind of poke your finger in, have a good feel around, grab your rack of wires and kind of go, that one, and stick it in. And obviously you don't get it right every time, but neither do sighted climbers. So
no, I can vouch for that.
I guess you're more likely to get it right more than sighted climbers for that reason, Jesse. You're a bit more, you're exploring a bit more, maybe, are you?
I don't know. Yeah, maybe. I haven't run the stats on it, to be honest. So
yeah, no, I haven't. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I mean, comes to down to comfort of stance and level of heart rate. I think probably play quite a big factor.
Yeah.
Oh, so I've actually got a question for Molly, because Molly, you're leading, or Jesse's leading up, and you're obviously following. Have you ever got to the top and had to have a word with Jesse about the quality of the belay at the top?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I can't actually think of any times when I've got to the top and I thought, oh my God, what is that? There are a few times when I've got to the top and he's kind of spent, I don't know, 20 minutes or so putting a lot of wires in, equalizing it all off, and it's all kind of textbook belay. But then there's a chain or an anchor just to the right of him that he hadn't found. So there's a few instances of that. And then maybe another example is like when we're at Pembroke. So we went to do Rock Idol. Where's that?
Mother Carey's.
Mother Carey's, and the top of the crag is all crumbly and loose. So I made an anchor at the top and then attached a bit of rope and kind of dangled it over the edge, and then I was able to see that from below. So I could kind of guide him to that anchor from below rather than him kind of, I guess, trying to climb over the choss. But no, as we climb up, and I guess as I second him, I always kind of check his gear and let him know if it was a bit rubbish. And obviously he's done thousands of routes now, so he's had a lot of practice, pretty good at it now.
Yeah, I'm just giving the shivers because of the top of a Pembrokeshire climb. They are chussy and horrible, and Jesse, you're climbing harder now than you have when you had your sight, and even putting up new routes in Morocco. And in one of your films, you describe training as a down payment on dreams, and I love that. Actually, I've written that down.
Amazing phrase, yeah.
Yeah. That is going on my running shoes. I don't think it'll fit though. But what advice would you give to younger climbers overcoming adversity, so to find their own way in this sport?
So I think the younger climbers, when you said the younger climbers, I think if I'd have to go back in time and tell my younger self what to do, I would say start training earlier, because training is a very slow process. The sooner you get on that treadmill, the sooner you'll be able to, eke out more and more improvements. I think the more general piece is that problem solving is really important when you've got something that makes you a bit different, like my eyes. It throws up a whole load of problems. It's far easier if you can anticipate what those problems are and solve them from the comfort of your sofa, rather than being halfway up a cliff and going, oh no, I can't see my belayer. She can't see me. And I don't know where to go. It really helped to have anticipated that situation, and for your belayer to have read you the route description and know like what way markers you're looking out for before you leave the ground. So that was really important on the Old Man of Hoy, for example. We chose to split one of the pitches so that Molly was in a better position to see me for more of the climbing.
Right.
And we'd done that based on reading all the guidebook descriptions, thinking about what's involved, and then proactively kind of anticipating the problem and solving it in advance.
Oh yeah, fascinating. Yeah, so yeah, just using every different guidebook account imaginable and kind of visualizing that in your head before you're climbing and building in those shorter pitches. That's great advice. And actually it's a great way of kind of learning your craft, isn't it? Even if you're just sort of setting out and going out on V-diffs and stuff, and you even adding in more rope work to get slick and things like that. So yeah, that's top advice from the master, I reckon, right there. So Jesse, you've been a Montane sponsored athlete for a while now, and do you have a favorite product that you like to take out with you?
Can I have a product category?
Oh, you can have a category, definitely.
Yeah.
Well,
high five for that one, Jesse. Yeah.
Well, I always really rate the jackets that are packable, because obviously you don't really want to climb with the jacket on because you'll get too hot, or I certainly do, because when I'm climbing I generate a load of heat. But the ones where you can either zip it into its own pocket preferably, or where it comes with it like its own integral stuff sack, you can stuff it into its little bag and clip it to the back of your harness, so when you get to the top of the route you can pull it out and not absolutely freeze yourself to death while you're belaying and waiting for your partner to try and get all those nuts that you cold welded into the rock out.
I always use those as little pillows as well. The stuff where you stuff it into itself. You can always for a little nap. Not when you're belaying, obviously, but that that's it.
It might have to be a word if that was the case.
Yeah. Wouldn't be surprised if somebody had said that about me at some point. But anyway, that's it. Yeah. That's another story. I can nap anywhere. Yeah.
A massive thank you, Jesse and Molly, for joining us today and making time for us at what is a fantastic festival. And also thank you to Montane for allowing this to happen. And if you would like to know more about Jesse, you can go to his website, jessedufton.com, where there's links to the films as well, or how to access the films. And we also have a super range of Montane clothing and packable jackets in our Ambleside and North Wales based shops, the Climber shop and the Joe Brown shops. And there is also a wealth of additional information if you're wanting to get into climbing at our website, joebrownoutdooracademy.com. That's fab. You can take the raccoon bollock microphone off now, Jesse.